What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Weekly Roundup. I'm Tanner, and today we're doing something really special. So they asked me, what do you want to do for Weekly Roundup? You can do anything, and I knew immediately that I wanted to build a rig just out of stuff on the store to honor one of my favorite guitar players that just recently passed, Mr. John Sykes. If you don't know who John Sykes is, you should go immediately check out the 80s Whitesnake album and his band Blue Murder. I brought my personal copies here to show off. Just killer Riff Factory records right here. Like, they're just insane. His soloing is insane. Played with Thin Lizzy, he played with Tigers of Pantang, super influential guitar player, and I want to do my best to honor him today and build a crazy rig. He was really famous for using Mesa Coliseum heads, which are like 300-watt boogies. They're crazy. We don't have those, they don't make them anymore, but he did switch to dual recs in the early 90s, so I'm gonna see if I can track one of those down. He also had a huge rack mount, rack effects gear thing. But I think what we can kind of distill it into is he had like a stereo chorusy widener and lots of delay and reverb. So if we can kind of nail those two things, I think we'll be solid. He used Marshall cabs. I think we have one in the video room that works. We'll use that. But the big thing is that he played a late 70s Les Paul custom, all blacked out with a chrome mirror pickguard. Crazy sick guitar. A lot of people think it was an early 70s. I think it was a late 70s. We got a couple black Les Pauls up here. Let's grab one of those. Yeah, this one's good. It's a 57. It's a little thicker than what he would have used. This one's a pretty solid contender. What I got here? This is actually just basically the same guitar, just different ones. This one here, yeah, this is probably the best one. It's a 2001. I'm not 100% sure what pickups would have been in this in 01, but they're probably a little closer than like our custom S-Buckers. He used Dirty Fingers a lot. I don't think we have anything with a set of Dirty Fingers in it. I would use that if I could, but honestly, anything with decent high output will get you there. So this will be the one. Effects time. I want to kind of do like the doubling thing, but I'm kind of worried that doubling isn't going to be enough to get the chorusy sound. So I might have to get both. We can try out both. Let's see here. Oh man, I don't see a deco up here. That's usually my go-to. I know, we always have them. Well, we sell the hell out of them because we love them. We love decos. Decos fucking rule.
Love a deco on 6.
Decos are great because if you're not using if you're using the tape saturation or if you're using just the stereo widening, one of the secrets is the wide stereo mode, and I used that in the Motley Crue video because same kind of, honestly, same kind of rig. Is that Mick Mars would use like a really wide, even-tied rack mount delay thing. So honestly, all these 80s guys use rack mount stuff. Let's start with the delay then, because I can get there pretty quick. I personally own the Keeley Halo, and I think it is a sick delay pedal because it's not too rhythmic. It kind of just creates that kind of cloud, the Andy Timmons cloud of delay, which I think is what we really want. It's not like a rhythmic, like on repeat delay. It's just we just want something that kind of fills out the space. For reverbs, it's not a whole lot, but I think the Flint might be the way to go because it has that 80s option on there. If it says 80s, I feel like you have to do it. So hit me up in the comments, what's your favorite chorus pedal? Because I'm always looking for a new one. I just bought 2 new ones. I'm looking for more. I don't want to just use all this UA stuff because it's so overkill, but it rules. I'm not planning on running stereo, so I just kind of wanted to get the doubled effect to make it sound stereo. You know what I could probably use? I happened to watch a video the other day of our buddies over at JHS talking about how if you set this low enough, you can use it as like a kind of stereo doubling thing. Might give that a shot. It's also got modulation in it. And everybody who, if you know, you know, chorus is really just delay. I think that might be the way to go. And just for safe measure, if I have to use it, Boss Dimension. See, this was a rack mount piece of gear in the 80s, so my team. This is my team to fight the gorilla. This is my 100 men. Can we take him? Let's find out. All right, let's see what we have in here. Ooh, okay, so here's a fun one. We have this 5153, and before John passed, he posted on his website, hey, here's the gear I'm currently using. And in the last few years, probably last 5 or 10 years, he switched to EVHs, which is kind of cool. Especially given like what they're based on, which is like the old crazy modded Marshalls, which is basically what a Soldano was, which is kind of basically what a dual rectifier, you know, they all start their life as kind of like what's the general topography before they kind of start doing their own thing. Before the gear nerds come at me and start telling me that they're not the same amp. I know, but you know, they're all kind of based on the same thing here, you know? I don't see anything that's immediately jumping out to me. I mean, I know I'm going in this with like dual rec in mind. Rev is heavy, EVH is heavy. The Freeman is gonna be a little too like vintage Marshall-y, especially that one. Let's just hop into another room and see what we got. These are all combos. Worst case scenario, I can't find anything. I think the EVH or that Soldano combo. Ooh, got a Badlander. Okay, if I can't find a dual rec, this is the one.
Similar styles.
Yeah, this is, so it's part of the rectifier series. It's not like a dual rec, but the cool thing about the Badlander, it sounds like a JCM 800 to me, at least to my ears. Super modded Marshall kind of like heaviness, but it's got 2 channels, so you can set one clean and one gainy. They're the exact same channels, but you can just set them differently. Nah, on me move. All right, guys, I think I just spotted one of the wild. We got a Mesa cab, and it looks like there might be a Boogie on top of that. Let's go take a look. In its natural habitat, in the front window, see me, we found a dual rec. Oh yeah! Yeah, we're using this.
Cool.
All right, so we have our guitar, we have our amp, we have our cab. This is the Marshall cab. Wes is here. We got our pedals. There is one more really nerdy thing I want to do before we go. So John uses the same thickness picks that I use, the 1.14 Dunlops, standard Tortex. But according to a really good source, Michael Nielsen at Big Hairy Guitars, he worked with John in the early 2000s. He said that he'd walk into the backstage area and see John filing the edge of his picks with sandpaper to get that really gnarly pick scrape he was known for. So let's go sandpaper this son of a bitch up. Give me sandpaper. And so I just want to rough.
Like a heavier sandpaper?
I'm asking the right guy because Brody loves Still of the Night. Sick. All right. Oh, I can immediately feel why this works. Yeah. It's really getting rough in there. All right, I think we're good to go. I have the amp kind of dialed in where I like it. I think I'm playing with a little bit more gain than he would have because he had higher output pickups, but I was just saying off camera, if you can't hit one of these, you ain't got enough gain. That's the John Sykes special. Wide vibrato. You know, Zach Wilde once said that there would be no Zach Wilde if it wasn't for John Sykes. Just saying.
That's your other guy.
That's my other guy. That's my other guy. I pinch way too much, but I pinch like John. Yeah, I got the gain kind of set up where I like it. It's not too mid scoopy, which is, you know, that happens with a Mesa. You know, it sounds really solid. Maybe a tad buzzy, but I can pull that back on the presence a little bit. To taste, you know, whatever. Also, I got it on the 50 watt setting because 100 watts is crazy loud in here. Crazy freaking loud. Let's talk about these pedals. So I'm gonna kick on the reverb and the delay real quick and just kind of see if I can get a decent tone. Join me in the effects loop. The very shittily set up effects loop. I've just got it set up. It's reversed from how you'd see it. So I got the delay on, reverb, and we'll set the mix here. Set it to 80s mode, of course. That's a lot. Okay, let's dial it back. I don't hate the way it sounds, but it is a lot. Got peeks in me pocket. Okay, needs more. That's what it's sounding like. One last check. Do a little more reverb, or sorry, a little less reverb, a little more delay. I want more trails and less whoo. So. Yeah, I'm gonna roll with it. That sounds good. Now we gotta get the widening effect. Let's see if I can do this from memory. Turn the repeats way down. He was showing off a cool setting where you could turn it to time really, really, really low. Set the repeats to nothing, and then just have the delay kind of doing its thing. So you're hearing the halo also doing its thing. I was afraid of this. It might be a little too delay-y, so that's why I brought the Dimension C out. I got it in rack mount mode. Let's see if that does the trick. The real way you would do this is doing like a splitter or a stereo widener, but those will get you pretty close. Also, chorus in the effects loop probably would have been smarter, but you know, whatever. We're just gonna roll with it. I'll try this one more time. Actually, I don't actually hate it. Now that I'm going back to it.
Try it on and off again.
Yeah, let me do that. I think it's cool.
I like it because it's less
it's less chorusy. Yeah, because that's the thing. I mean, he was using chorus on clean tones, but it wasn't like a chorusy sound. It was like about the width, and we're not running stereo. There is no width. That kind of does the width thing, though. It's doing it. It's doing the thing. I mean, I feel, feel psyched out for sure. Now I know I'm just like forgetting all the mad like mega riffs that I could be doing to show off like how cool this thing sounds. That was fun. I don't want to turn it off. It's fucking great. I think we did great. My takeaways are high gain and widening and Les Paul. That's really all it needs to give props where props is due. Here I go again. Listen to Whitesnake. No, for real. Whitesnake 87, Blue Murder, one of my favorite records of all time, the self-titled Blue Murder record. John was a monster player. He was so influential on so many different guitar players. Metallica was influenced by his stuff with Tigers of Pantang. Zakk Wylde was super influenced by everything he did with his Pentharmonics, and he's just like sick riffing. There's so many other guitar players on YouTube who like go deep into his techniques and his tone. I'm not that guy. I love John Sykes. He's one of my favorite guitar players, but if you're interested, go watch like Ben Eller, Michael Nielsen, those guys. They do a great job, but this is just me wanting to pay my respects with CME's gear that we have. Also, if you like dual recs, come on, see us.
We got one.
We got one. Also, for any of you guys that use Neural DSP stuff, the Quad Cortex, the Nano Cortex, I am going to do a capture of this here in about 4 or 5 minutes. We'll have that. I'll upload that on my own thing. I'll put a link below. But you can download the dual rectifier sounds. You can't do pedals or anything like that. Delay pedals, modulation pedals, but get the amp itself, just the head. You use whatever cab you want, but that way you can have at least kind of where we landed on this tone. Have it on your own box. And just like that, it's another weekly roundup coming at you. Let us know what you want to see us do next time, and maybe we'll do it, or maybe we'll just do more of whatever the hell we want, because sometimes that's what you got. That's fun too. Right on. Catch you guys next time. I was waiting to get that large one.